Do you ever feel like social media is just a big popularity contest, and if you don't have a gazillion followers, it can feel like you shouldn't even bother posting or deserve to exist? Trust me, I've been there and it's not a fun place to be. Or maybe you think social media is fake because you see a lot of people out there putting images of themselves out to the world that don't track to who they really are. And then you don't post because you think you need to do the same thing that they're doing to succeed, when in reality, the opposite is actually true. When I was early on in my career, I was very naive. I would see people with very large followings and just assumed they were the real deal. I kept wondering why I only had 100 or 200 followers, maybe got a couple likes per post, and I wasn't growing. And it's not like I wasn't trying. I was putting out content, I was engaging on other people's pages, I was hosting in-person events, but I kept feeling like other people were getting away from me when it came to the follower growth or the vanity metrics growth that you see on social media. And I probably had the same feeling that you feel sometimes looking at your competitors' accounts. What was even more frustrating is I saw some competitors of mine grow by tens of thousands that weren't doing the level of content that I was doing, and I was virtually ripping my hair out, probably wasting too much time looking at what they were doing at the time than what I was doing. But then I noticed something. My phone started ringing. People were calling me saying that they wanted to work with me because they watched my content. Even though that entire time I wasn't getting the likes, I wasn't getting the comments, the active indicator of success was my phone was actually ringing and people were wanting to partner with me. We kept getting listings, we kept growing. I kept putting out the content, ignoring the noise. Yes, I watched other accounts grow much faster and much bigger than my accounts did, but what I noticed was those accounts didn't have signs up throughout the entire city. I really started seeing that the tangible results of doing good business with a select group of people was far more valuable than chasing 1 million followers that were never gonna do a transaction with me anyways. I noticed that online, some of these influencers looked great, but they weren't actually building real relationships. Then I figured out why. When I reached a certain threshold, I want to say it was probably around 6,000 to 8,000 followers, I started getting pitched to buy followers. I started getting pitched by these companies that could tell me they could grow my account very quickly. When I crested 10,000, now I'm getting closer to 15,000 followers. I can tell you it is non-stop. And these people are selling you the dream that you're going to purchase these vanity metrics from them to maybe convince some of the public that you are an authority in your industry because you have 5, 10, 50, 100,000 followers. And yes, some consumers will look at that as authority. I have seen consumers speaking about accounts that are very large as if they're influential in the industry. Meanwhile, those agents don't have very much market share or don't do very much business. Not only that, the next trend became engagement farming. So people would say, well, you can tell if an account's fake by how many comments it has per post. You would literally look at an account with 50,000 followers, they'd have 3 comments per post, and you would assume that that account bought all of their followers. The reverse actually became true. So as I started looking at engagement metrics, views on reels, comments on posts, we started noticing other trends. Engagement farming companies going into people's accounts and just commenting the exact same thing over and over on multiple posts with no actual contextual conversation. And I realized that all of that was just noise. And to me, it just felt gross. At that time, I had to make a decision. If I was gonna go that route, there was absolutely no going back. Some people do it and say, hey, it's just sales, baby. That's the name of the game. And if that's your jam, more power to you. And for me, it was about something bigger. It was about longevity in my career. And that is, when you hear my name, I want you to think of this proverb. A good name is greater to be chosen rather than great riches. In the best of times, competition drives innovation. In the worst of times, comparison can leave people depressed and miserable, even though they may already have so much. Agents that are brand new in the business want to get one listing and feel like when I get that, then I'll be happy. Then they want to get a bunch of listings. Then they want to dominate a neighborhood. Then they want to dominate a market. Then they want to have a team. Then they want to have multiple teams in multiple markets. Then they want to be a coach. It never ends. If you're just chasing validation, that is an empty pit. But if you're chasing relationships, you'll be much more satisfied. It was at this time that literally everything changed for me. I started with the people that I was following, admiring, comparing myself to, and I actually actively started unfollowing a lot of them. When I figured out some accounts were fake, I actually blocked a few of them. I've since unblocked many of them because I realized it's more of a me problem than a them problem, but I really just started shutting out the noise and I started doubling down on my own people. I started looking at the people who were engaged in my comments, engaged in my communities, started going out and spending more time on their pages, less time on mine, and that's when things really ramped up online for me. It took me a really long time, but the compounding interest of focusing on the right people now allow us to reach close to 10 million people across all of our social media platforms, but more than anything, I know exactly who I'm talking to. I'm talking to people that appreciate high value service. I'm talking to people that appreciate having a network of vetted people. I'm talking to people that love cutting edge marketing and cinematography. Those are my people. Maybe I'm not for the people that just want a discount for everything that they do. Maybe I'm not for the people that don't want to build a relationship or don't see the value in organic and digital reach on social media. What's important is that you realize that dequalifying the wrong people is as important as qualifying the right people. Stop worrying about followers, stop worrying about likes, stop worrying about views. Most of what you see online is paid advertisement, engagement farming, or fake. Instead of valuing people based on how many followers they have, how many likes they get on a post, or how many views they get on a reel, maybe start looking for ways to build bridges with those that are actually in community with you. I'm talking your current clients, your past clients, I'm talking your team members, I'm even talking about your competitors and other people that are in alignment with your community. Focus on the people on the other side of the lens. Stop treating your community like an income line on a spreadsheet. Start looking for opportunities to build bridges. I am telling you, give up that short-term ambition for the long-term legacy. It'll make all the difference in the world. So if you ever felt how I felt in this video at one point in your career, maybe you feel that way right now, drop a heart in the comments. Would love to know where you're at in your career. And if you got any value from this video, hit that like and subscribe button. Really trying to give as much value as I can to save you time. This channel is built for real estate agents and entrepreneurs and creators, really looking to level up their game. Tons of content on here on how I time block, how I build my team, how I create content, but these mindset pieces for me are some of the most special ones because I get to share all the mistakes I made so you don't have to. I'll see you on the next one.